Hello, everybody. Hey, welcome to the Strategy Behind the Tech Call. Today, we are going to be talking about the reasons why we are using the tool, the Champagne Room. I know that when you are first starting to use this tool, your head's down, you're doing the work, you're building your lead generation machine. And then there's this place where you're like, oh my goodness, I'm getting hundreds of leads. And what next? Right. So, we're going to talk about the big strategy to lead generation. We're going to talk about the fact, okay, this is the big reason why we're doing what we're doing. Okay. Why are we using the Champagne Room? Well, we're doing it so that we don't have to go out there and spend hours upon hours every single week finding leads. We're going to use the tools that are in the marketplace and we're going to allow for Facebook and the Champagne Room to do the heavy lifting of lead generation for us. Okay. But when we're inside and we're building that, we're going to look up at some point. We're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting hundreds of leads every single week. What next? Why am I using the Champagne Room and the social media tools that are out there to find leads? So let's go ahead and kind of jump on in to the strategy behind the tech. Why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we using that Champagne Room? So let's go ahead and just kind of pop up a really quick presentation. So we're going to be talking today about the strategy behind the tech. I know that the Champagne Room tool is complex. I know that it has so many bells and whistles and amazing features that we sometimes can get overwhelmed with everything that's inside of the Champagne Room. I also know that you have to have these tools in order to leverage the power of the online market. Now, that's exactly why we offer now inside of the Art Boss. We will build your lead generation machine for you, and we'll find your leads for you, and you don't even have to worry about it or even know really how to set all of this up at the beginning. Instead, what you can do is if you let us build that for you, it takes us less than 2 weeks for us to be able to get you 200 leads or more. You can start working on closing those leads and you get up to speed with what you need to be doing in the Champagne Room. And it allows for you to meet with us and we talk about all the things that you need to be doing to start closing those leads instead of spending time trying to set this all up on your own. Okay, so setting up your Champagne Room tool can be super simple. It can be as simple as just letting Team Art Boss do that for you. Or if you would instead like for us to just show you how to use the Champagne Room, we also provide that opportunity. And that's exactly why we run a weekly lead generation meeting. We know that the most important thing inside of your business is just finding leads. Here's the fact. Okay. If you want to find new customers, you have to start with finding new leads. And that's why we know that this is one of the most powerful things that we can do in our business. And this is also one of the first mindset shifts that we can do in our business, where we start looking at our business as the opportunity to take off really time zapping tasks off of our plate. And we can either ease into it by learning how to do it ourselves, or we can just hire a team of people who can do this even quicker so that we can get to closing the sales. So this is like when we're building our lead generation machine, it's kind of like having a cup of coffee. Let me explain. When we are working in lead generation, there's not anyone who is in the business world who's like, it's not true. I don't need leads in order to find new customers. We just know it's a fact. But sometimes our questions and the place that we get stuck is all the way at the beginning. We're like, okay, we start getting overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, there's billions of leads out there, but I don't know how to find the leads I need. Then the next question is like, okay, yeah, so now I have leads and I'm bringing in leads, but I don't know if the leads that I need are in here. Okay. Oh, so now I have to actually start qualifying these leads. Okay, I don't know how to qualify them and I'm not sure if I'm qualifying them in the right way. And instead of asking questions and actually spending our time on the things that get results, we actually get into a place that's really harmful for our business where we just start asking questions and we just won't do any work until we have all of our questions answered, and we're not going to step out and learn a skill set or actually work with someone who can do all this for us, because we're just going to have we're going to play the 1,001 question game. And so I'm going to kind of make this example, and it's going to be a little silly, okay, but it's going to be really simple. Okay. So it's about a cup of coffee And sometimes this is how easy or hard it can be. So I'm like, go pour yourself a cup of coffee. Okay. So someone says, all right, let's go pour ourselves a cup of coffee. So we go and we pour ourselves a cup of coffee. But before we actually pour ourselves a cup of coffee, we start asking, wait, should I use a cup or should I use a mug? Okay. Or should I get a Stanley? So you start asking questions. You're like, you haven't even poured the cup of coffee yet, but you're like, okay. So, okay, until I get the answer on whether I should do a cup or a mug or a Stanley, I'm stuck. Then you're finally like, okay, well, I think maybe I can risk it and just grab something I have in my closet. I'm just going to grab a mug. And so then you're like, okay, wait a minute. What kind of coffee? Should I do a light roast, a medium roast, or a dark roast? And you're like, oh my gosh, how hot should it be? Oh my goodness, should it be should it be chilled? Oh my gosh, if I'm gonna do iced coffee, then do I even need the mug? And so you start asking all these questions instead of doing something that is just as simple as grabbing a container and pouring the coffee in it. And when you start getting going down that path, there are 1,001 questions that you can ask before you ever even try to pour that cup of coffee. You can be like, well, how full should I fill it? Should I add cream in it? Should I add sugar in it? And you're going to start asking all these questions. But the reality is, pouring a cup of coffee, there are questions, but you just have to do it and you have to test it. Maybe you like cream in your coffee, maybe not. Maybe you're going to test it, maybe you're not. And when we start asking too many questions before we just start getting in there and doing the work, we're going to put our business at risk. Okay. So here's the thing, people have been pouring themselves a cup of coffee for hundreds of years. Why is it not going to work when you pour the cup of coffee? So sometimes when we start, this is where the mindset starts happening. Okay. And this is where the strategy behind what we're doing is really important. And why it's important to know that. Now we know the pouring a cup of coffee shouldn't be so overwhelming. Right. We know that. We know that people have been doing it for hundreds of years, but there's something inherently in there about us doing it wrong. Okay. And then I'm going to throw out the question of like, what is the big deal if we don't do it right the first time? What if we find out that we don't like light roast, we like dark roast? Or maybe we're like, oh, I just had my first iced coffee and I'm never going to go back to hot coffee again. What is wrong with not doing something perfectly the first time? So we need to make sure that we are giving ourselves permission to learn how to use the champagne room. And for those of you who are like, you know what, it's not about learning how to use it. I just know that I need to get to the place where I'm closing sales. And so if I hire out or I outsource someone to actually find my leads for me, I'm going to get there faster. Okay. So, or I'm going to put in the time and the effort and the resources that I need in order to learn how to do this on my own, even though I know it's going to take longer to get to my first sale. Okay. So that is what we're going to be talking today about. We're going to talk about the strategy behind the tech and the three massive mistakes that we can make when we're in lead generation and then how to fix it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. There are going to be times that we make mistakes. Okay, so instead of reframing this, let's reframe this. Instead of thinking of mistakes are bad, actually, let's reframe this as mistakes are the opportunity to make changes. And when we avoid the mistakes that keep us stuck, okay, that's the main goal here. Okay, let's not make the mistakes that keep us stuck. Let's not be in the 1,001 questions. Let's not like stop our business based on mistakes that we're making there. Instead, let's leverage and embrace the mistakes that might happen when we go out and we step out in imperfection and we start working towards what our goals are. Okay, so we're going to help you through 3 common mistakes that you can avoid. Okay, they're actually not action steps. They're typically inaction steps. And it's really important for us to walk through this when we're in lead generation. Okay. So we're calling this massive mistakes, right? The first mistake that we can make inside of our lead generation is mistaking followers for leads. Okay. We're thinking that followers are the same thing as leads, and they're not. Okay. Let's break that apart for a second and let's talk about what we do in the champagne room and the strategy behind this. Okay. So here's the thing about followers. We can have 17,000 followers inside of our Instagram, or we can have 5,000 Facebook friends, or we can have 3,000 people who are just in our business page. Okay. But when we have followers, we might have their name, but we don't have any additional information on them. And we don't have the ability to actually start crafting and refining the offers that we make to followers. We can have access to 2 billion people just in Facebook, in the metaverse alone. There are 2 billion people who check into Instagram and Facebook on a daily basis. Okay. If they see our artwork and they don't give us any additional information on who they are, they're a follower, and we have no ability to actually talk to them and start refining and curating offers versus a lead. And when we start changing the way that we run our business, where we're actually attracting leads, we now have control over getting information into their universes. We have the ability to actually reach back out to them, either in email campaigns or social media campaigns, and we can start collecting data. Data, what we like to talk about with data is purchase indicators. We can start putting out information and trigger links and tripwires and all of the fun terms and tools, marketing tools out there that actually allow for us to collect data. If someone pushes a button on their computer and we have a trigger link sitting out there, we have the ability to actually capture that data and capture information on our leads. So let's not mistake a follower for a lead. Let's actually spend our time and our money going and finding leads, not just trying to get more followers. Okay. So hold on one second. I want to grab the right screen for this. I missed the order on this. Okay, landing page. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about. Landing pages. This is how we fix the problem of only having followers and not having leads. Okay. So we need to have the Champagne Room so that we can have a landing page. We can have a place where someone actually can, when we stop the scroll with our art, because our artwork stops the scroll all the time, I watch it. The amazing power of our artwork to actually stop the scroll and get someone's attention in the online market is phenomenal. Okay. Compared to other industries, it's really difficult to stop the scroll. For us, it's super simple. But we have to have a landing page. They have to have a place that when someone stops the scroll, we invite them to go learn more about us. And when we have a landing page, the tool that we use inside of the Champagne Room is called a funnel. This allows for us to turn our followers into leads with the tools that help by getting an opt-in, meaning our future clients say, yes, I want to learn more. That's an opt-in. We are then collecting data like name, even if we already have their name, email address. Okay. The email address allows for us to be able to have future correspondence, and we can create a relationship off of social media platforms. If you're worried about the Facebook algorithm or Instagram, like changes in Instagram, and you're like, I'm at the mercy of a social media platform that I don't control, this is the answer. This is what allows for us to get information off platform, being able to do it free or super affordable leads for artists in the art industry, and also allows for us to start tracking who's engaging with us and who wants more information. Okay, so super powerful, right? If you're out there going, I've got thousands of followers and I get lots of oohs and ahs on my posting, but you're not actually leveraging the power to turn that follower into a lead, it is the number one mistake when new business owners start working in the online market. They're just out there posting and doing all the work, but they're not getting the results and the data. Okay, so you have to have a landing page, which we use sales funnels inside of the Champagne Room. Okay, so let's go back here. Number 2, massive mistake. I don't have this in the right order. Sorry about that. Number 2, massive mistake. Waiting for permission to sell our artwork. And I'm going to tell you that a lot of artists are like, I don't wait for permission to sell my artwork. And I'm going to ask you, are you waiting for a gallery to say yes and put your artwork inside of one of their galleries? Do you have out there applications for art shows and you're waiting for people to say, yes, you can partake in one of an online event or even an in-person event? Then you're waiting for permission to sell your artwork. And the most amazing thing about the online market, okay, is that we have access to millions upon millions of leads. And this is the solution here for this massive mistake. Instead of showing up like a vendor or showing up as an employee waiting for permission to do something, we want you to show up and we want you to be a CEO. We want you to take back control of your whole entire art business, starting with lead generation. So what do we do? What's the tech behind the strategy here, right? Traffic. Okay. Instead of waiting for someone to give you permission to sell your artwork at their galleries or at their shows, we can sell our artwork right here in the online market, turn our followers into leads, and then start actually running what we call traffic to our landing page, making sure that we get the number of eyeballs seeing our artwork so that we can get our dreamy new clients hearing, seeing, and understanding what our value propositions are. And if we have a beautiful landing page to collect emails and we're not running traffic to it, it's a massive mistake. So we are sharing with you inside of the Art Boss formula how to undo the massive mistake of just waiting for someone to give you permission to sell your artwork. And we're moving you to the place where you're a CEO and you're choosing to run a business that allows for you to create what we like to call the artist life. Okay. So what does that look like inside of the Champagne Room? What are the tools that we use so that you can be a CEO and so that you can have traffic running to your information, so you can have more people seeing what you're doing, so you can have more traffic for people going to your website or to your landing pages or to your social media. So here is what we use inside of the Champagne Room. We stop waiting for people to find you, and we take back the control of your sales so that you can find free and low cost leads. Okay. With hundreds of them, art bosses are finding hundreds and even thousands of them every single month. We use organic traffic strategies, which is what is free. It's when we start building our beautiful assets in our social media, we can create beautiful organic traffic strategies that finds leads for free. And we can leverage the power of low cost Facebook, or we're going to say metaverse ads, because we run them to both Instagram and Facebook, where it allows for us to quickly, and I'm talking lightning speed, get 200 leads in 2 weeks, and to continue having a tool that's working 24/7 while you're sleeping, while you're on vacation, while you're hanging out with the kids at the soccer game, while you're having a date with your husband, while you're like, I just really don't want to be doing lead generation anymore. So we need to be able to have a tool that allows for us to do that. Right. And we have to walk away from the mistake where we're just waiting for someone else to give us permission to run our businesses. Okay. So mistake number 3, massive mistake number 3, is manually trying to find your leads. Okay. So before I was like, hey, we can find leads for free or for really affordable and really affordable leads. And so many businesses are like, I don't want to spend a penny on lead generation. I don't want to have to actually like pull out my credit card to spend any money on it. And so we start looking at ways to save money. And when we start looking at ways to save money, it just takes us longer to get to the place where we can close our sales. How long will it take for you to find a lead manually working with organic traffic strategies? Until you test it out and run it, I'm not sure. Okay. But I am going to tell you it's going to take you hours upon hours a day in order to get the number of leads you need to be on a path to 6 figures. I can tell you that. Okay. So this is where we want to really understand the strategy behind automation. We can choose to find our leads for free. We can find, 1 or 2, maybe 10 people a week. And if our conversion rates are 1%, that means we're making 0 sales. Or we can choose to leverage the power of finding hundreds or even thousands of leads every single week, where if we still keep that same conversion rate, 3% of 100 is 3 sales. Okay. So automations rock. Automations are what give you back your time to actually start focusing on what you need to be doing in order to start closing sales. Okay. So we're going to talk about the follow-up. Okay, so we need to have a we need to have a follow-up system. And when we are running a follow-up system, it allows for us to do that automated. We can be running super simple automated email campaigns that happen based on when someone takes an action. And when someone clicks on their computer, we can have a set of pre-designed follow-up emails that allow for us to start closing sales. Okay. So we're really going to start breaking this down into also what's called automated messaging. And when we're using the Champagne Room, we can stay connected to our leads by giving our ideal clients exactly what they need to say yes, so that when you're making offers, they're pulling out their credit cards. We use social media campaigns as well. We're working over in our social media, making offers over there. And we are also using email campaigns. We're taking those campaigns and we're creating a full out marketing campaign that allows for us to even close sales right in our emails, to close sales on a weekly basis inside of our social media, and to also create huge selling events that can close thousands of dollars in a weekend. And if we're not leveraging the power of using our Champagne Room to do this, then we are actually walking away from the beautiful automation. So the whole entire strategy behind this, we want to make sure we're avoiding the 3 mistakes. And then we want to make sure that our tool is helping us avoid those mistakes. Number 1, we stop confusing followers with leads. If you don't have a way to actually have an outreach campaign to those leads, then you just have a follower. Also, stop waiting for other people to say it's okay to sell your artwork. Start putting on that CEO hat. Start looking at your business in a way that you can take back the control and you can start collecting data on those leads. And then the final one, stop doing all of this manually when you don't have to. The power of the online market is the fact that we have access to billions of leads. That means there are millions of people who want our artwork out there. It's our job to find them. And we can use a system and we can use a tool to find them really quickly. You can be like some of the art bosses here. Okay. So some of the art bosses that we're building their lead generation machine for them super quick. This is a 30-day snapshot on some of the artists that we're working with. And you can see that their low cost per lead are ranging anywhere between 40 and 70 cents per lead. Their highest cost per lead, okay, we went and we showed you everybody's, is anywhere from 98 cents all the way up to about $3. Okay. So when we are working together, we here's what we want to make sure, okay, that you're not an average cost per lead of $3 per lead, but you're in that 50 cents to $1.50 lead. Okay. Amazing lead, average cost per lead. In other industries, cost per lead run anywhere from $10 to $15 per piece. And that is why Facebook ads can be prohibitive for some businesses. If you are not leveraging the power of affordable leads right now, I'm going to tell you this. This is what's going to happen. In a year, maybe 2 years from now, we're going to be sitting in a meeting and we're going to be reminiscing, like, remember when leads were only 50 cents a piece? Here's why. The online market, Facebook, Instagram, I know, is not saturated with artists who are showing up like professionals and using and leveraging the power of the online market to close sales. There are tons of artists showing up like hobby artists, but we have not oversaturated this market. And as we start to oversaturate it, and it will become oversaturated, your cost per lead will go up and you'll be like, I wish I had grabbed as many leads as I could have a couple years ago when they were only 50 cents. Okay. So this is what we want you guys to have. We want you to have a lead generation machine that is bringing in hundreds, if not thousands of leads every single month. Okay. And, results are going to vary. Let's put this little caveat. Okay. Based on the audience that you design, the image, what you're writing in your ad, there's just going to be natural Facebook fluctuations. Like, what's your daily ad spend? How much you're spending on a daily basis? Because at the Art Boss, we're consistently finding leads under $1 for our artists, sometimes even in the 50 cents lead. Compared to art businesses who are running their ads on their own, we see an average cost per lead. Okay. They see an average cost per lead, and other businesses mean, in that $5 to $20 price range. Okay. So this is amazing. And this is something that we can be doing right now. In the lead generation, that's what the strategy behind the tech is really today about lead generation and why we need to be leveraging the power of the online market to find leads. There has never been a time in history where we've had so much control over who sees our artwork. We are not bound by having to work with a gallery or even an art show anymore. This is new. Okay. It used to be very difficult for a small business owner to leverage the power of the online market. Over the past 3 years, early to entry artists are making hundreds of thousands of dollars by leveraging the power of the online market. So we want you to know that here at Art Boss, you have 2 different paths. We will build your lead generation machine for you, or if you would prefer just to be in our libraries and you would prefer to just have access to the tools that allow for you to do this, you can do this on your own. We're going to show you really quickly the importance of when you just invest in a team who knows how to do this. Within the first 14 days, we're going to already have your leads out there. We're going to already be generating leads for you. You're going to have your first 200 leads within the first 2 to 3 weeks of working with us, because we know exactly what you need to do. We quickly get you up and running so that you can start working on closing sales and closing those leads. Compared to artists who are like, I really am a grassroots type of business owner. I want to understand how to do this on my own. They're learning the tool on their own with support from the library and support from Team Art Boss to show them how to do it. But it is typically taking them anywhere from 3 to 4 months in order to just get their first lead generation tool set up. Even though they're templates, even though everything is preset in there, we know that this is a new tool and we help walk you through the overwhelm. But on average, it's taking close to 3 months to build your first lead generation machine. For some artists, even longer. For some artists, they're doing it really quickly. If you're a high techy person, you can get through this super quick. Second, really super important and a really hard skill set is running Facebook ads. Okay. So we know that there's certain Facebook ads that generate more leads than others. There's some that are set up not to even generate leads. We are showing you how to create a lead generation ad so that you can actually have the traffic you need. It typically takes at least a month. Okay. This is really if you've worked in Facebook ads before, takes at least a month to learn another really big skill set. We also find that when artists run their own Facebook ads, instead of a 50-cent lead, they're getting leads in the $20 range. And it takes more than a month to figure out what you need to be changing in order to quickly dial in your ads. Okay. So it's just one of those skill sets you've got to give yourself time to be able to do. And then when you start in the green right here is just the amount of time it takes you to get to your first 100 leads. We're looking at somewhere between 5 to 6 months before you can start focusing on closing sales. Okay. So super simple, being able to just work with Team Art Boss and just have them do it. And instead of paying for all of the training and the resources to do it on your own. So it kind of comes out to almost a no-brainer just to let us do that for you, but it's totally up to you. Okay. So, because here's the goal. The goal here at the Art Boss and the strategy behind everything is to get you to your first sale and to get you to be able to get your first return on investment. When we just build out everything for you, because the team here at Art Boss, that's what they do all day. They run Facebook ads, they build funnels. I mean, that's their job. That's what they love to do. That's where they have their superpowers. We can get you to your first ROI within that first 30 days, you're getting to your first ROI if we're building out everything for you. Versus it's going to be 5 to 6 months before you get a return on investment when you're heavily learning and investing in skill set building meaning building your funnels and building your Facebook and then building your Facebook ads and then going to start closing sales. Okay, so there it is. Okay, this is what we know. This is what we know. We know that new sales happen when you have new leads. Okay, that's why you can have this choice. We'll build that machine for you so that you can get to the business of making offers and closing sales. We want you to get your ROI in that first 30 days. And we want you to then be working on your first virtual selling event that happens in the first 3 months of you being here. Okay, so I want to remind you, if you're choosing to do this on your own, or maybe you haven't really leveraged the power of the Champagne Room yet, you have access to weekly access. Okay, and here's some of the resources that you have. You have an Art Boss weekly support call. Okay, you have, I should add this in here, you also have an Art Boss library that's pre-recorded training. And you also have a lot of resources sitting over in the Champagne Room. This is really important for those of you who have chosen the do-it-yourself route. If you're in the done for you route, we're doing all this. You don't need to be in these training libraries. But I want to remind you, okay, so sitting right over here, let me go ahead and add screen and show you really quickly where this tool is. I'm looking for it. There we are, Champagne Room. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull that up really quickly. So here is the Champagne Room. It is the let me pull back out here where. Okay, we're going to go to the dashboard. So this is my Champagne Room, and you have, this is what yours looks like as well. Let's pop on over to the demo account just so we can take even a better look and a deeper dive into this. Okay, so here's the demo account, and you have right here, down here, the Art Boss training library. So if you just want to click and get to all the training really quickly, that is there. And you also have the Champagne Room Help Hub. So we're going to pop over here really quickly. Because you're using the tool, and this is about strategy behind the tool, I want you to remember that you have a lot of resources over here in the Champagne Room. It is owned by Melissa Ricker and the Engineered to Scale team. And you have a lot of information that you can leverage here. If you need help with something technical, like I don't know why my email isn't working, I don't know how to reconnect my domain, something super technical, right here, 24/7 chat, amazing, super fast responses. You also have 3 live group calls every single week. Kind of crazy amazing. It used to only be 1. I haven't been in here for a while. It is now Tuesdays and Thursdays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. Okay, so you get support right here. You also have a training library. I'm going to pop on into that. The one that you want to pull up, okay, depends on how many you're getting. You're getting this one right here, the Champagne Room software. So you'll have that one preloaded. This is everything you need to know on how to run the Champagne Room. Everything from how do I send an email? How do I set up my sales funnel? How do I make sure that I have my integrations? Oh, I want to do a website builder. There's so much over here, and I don't want you to miss out on this. Software setup, how to send emails, how to use forms, funnel builders. If you want to use membership sites, how you set up your calendar, email marketing, and also additional strategy behind the tech training straight from Melissa. Okay, how to reduce no-shows on sales calls, how to create a strategic replay dashboard, how to use abandoned cart sequences. So much strategy behind the tech. I don't want you to miss out on all of the valuable training that is over here as well. Okay, so tons here. Want you to have that. And there is just, let's pop back here. There's so much tech sitting here. There's so much power at your fingertips. There's so many tools sitting here, and we show you how to use it. But sometimes, because there's so much tech here, we have to pull back out and we have to start thinking about the strategy. We have to start thinking about, why are we doing what we're doing? We want to avoid the 3 massive mistakes of lead generation. We don't want to be overwhelmed in our lead generation that we now have no time to create artwork and we don't have any time to talk to who are our real clients versus just our followers, right? So Super important. We want you to know if you're interested in just having Team Art Boss build all this out for you, totally an option. If you want to do it on your own and you want to take the do it yourself package, we show you exactly what you need to do, but we want to give you the heads up. It just takes longer when you're learning a new skill set than just letting someone else build all these beautiful tools for you. So guys, I love, love, love that you're testing out the champagne room. For those of you who were building all that for, you're now working on closing sales. And for those of you who are still at the beginning of the process and you want to leverage all of the power here in the online market, you know you need tools to do it. We not only provide access to that champagne room for you, we also show you how to use it. Super sweet, super easy, okay? And we've already templated everything and got everything set up and preloaded inside of these tools for you, specifically designed for artists. So for those of you who are building your lead generation machine with us, we meet every single week here inside of the Art Boss. And you have the opportunity to work with me every single week on your lead generation machine. So excited to be able to do that with you guys. And just head on over to the Art Boss Help Hub for additional information on the dates and the times and the schedule. And for those of you who aren't using the champagne room yet, but you would like to, reach out to me. Reach out to me in a Messenger. Reach out to me in an email, whatever you need to be doing. We also offer a lot of opportunities during the month to get sneak peeks behind the scenes so you can get up to speed with the champagne room and understand how everything works over here. So you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you, those of you who are building their lead generation machines, next week.